Oscar Wilde once said, "There are only two tragedies in life. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it." Today's tip for you TTRPG Game Masters is not so much focused on this tragic aspect of life here, but rather the sentiment that we should be careful what we wish for. I'm going to give you 5 typical scenarios today that crop up in TTRPG games all the time, where players usually think accruing more power or fame or loot and items is only a positive thing to them. And I'm here to show you how you can show them that they are actually all double-edged swords. For all of those new here, hi, I'm Andre. I'm a long-time game master, engineer, and I'm a veteran improviser. This channel explores the deeper philosophies of TTRPGs, and my goal with this channel is to show you how you can create endless, evocative, memorable worlds without too much prep or sweat. Double-edged sword number 1. Gathering wealth or loot should paint targets on your PC's backs. Yay, we're rich! They'll undoubtedly claim. Well, maybe not. Maybe don't punish them for it, but make them ponder the trade-offs when the Thieves Guild now go after them. Did they really think when they looted that magical orb that the Thieves Guild isn't going to have an immediate long boardroom meeting and brainstorm ways in which they can steal it back or murder the PCs in their sleep? Wealth and fame should paint targets on your backs, as that is simply a logical reaction a world that contains greed will have. Number 2, being very intelligent and reaping the rewards of having a keen mind should also make it easier to understand the nature, the deeper nature of the cosmos, and understand the true horrors that lie within there. Now, this is baked into Call of Cthulhu, but I think you should steal it for your game as well. Being clever helps you in most domains most of the time, but when you gaze upon a truly horrific entity or a dark god that should never be seen, being ignorant could be a boon and could save your life. This is where the truly intelligent that understands the nature of what they just saw could be hurt the most. Number 3, when the party takes copious amounts of rest in your adventure, make the clock tick and make unforeseen circumstances come back to bite them in the bums. The OSR understands this concept well, and I think games like Mothership and Shadow Dark have some great sections on this. All time taken is always a trade-off. I might have to rest or we won't have our hit points back, but just to stress again, this is not about callously punishing your players. It's about making even something as simple as resting or pausing be a difficult decision. It's about weighing up pros and cons with no obvious perfect solutions. If we wait too long, someone could get hurt. We might fall behind. Our rivals might get the upper hand here. This helps to maintain tension in your sessions and makes everything they do meaningful. It's not about severe time pressure and being impatient with everything. But when there aren't stakes, when there is no pressure, when they can take all the time in the world constantly, that's when concentration at the table starts lapsing and people look at their phones and so on. But when there's constantly something to lose, when there's trade-offs with these things, that's when everyone has to focus and has to make difficult decisions. Number 4, a lot of popular TTRPGs make players comfortable in the fact that most encounters can, or maybe should, be solved by violence, or at least, if violence is required, that the fights will always be fair and balanced, and that's how you get XP, and that's obviously a good thing. That's how I get more powerful, and it's almost as if you are always in the appropriate zone for your level in a big MMORPG. For me, this kills immersion and it feels too contrived. There are countless ways in which you can make the players doubt whether the path of violence was the right one or not. Perhaps they took out some of the evil baddies, but in disguise within their ranks were some innocents that they forced to fight, and the players took their lives and now they have to live with that guilt. Perhaps the players find out that this faction they fought against just had misinformation spread to them by some other more nefarious faction, and that given their information they didn't have their hearts were in the right place, they were just misled by someone else. I mean, not everything in your TTRPG needs to be morally grey. I don't advocate for that. But I do think if we never have morally grey decisions, when it's always just, oh, it's combat, we have to kill them, it's always the right thing to do, it feels like a cheesy video game. It feels like a very young kid's cartoon. I want a more coherent and intellectually interesting world. That's where the game and the player's decisions and their character arcs come to life. So really think about this. Violence should, like the real world, often be a terrible and bad thing and regrettable and sometimes necessary, of course, but don't make it easy on the players. And number 5, this is my bonus one that very few people even ever consider. And it's to punish social skills or outcomes when the PCs are wearing heavy plate mail armor and badass looking weapons out in the public. I mean, think about it. You're talking to this peasant with no armor, no weapons, and you're asking pressing questions about some investigation that you have. They'll be terrified. Of course, if you look like them and you're wearing peasant's garb, you went undercover and you chat to them, of course they're going to give you more info. Have the players take that armor off. That NPC doesn't know what that magic glowing sword can do. Maybe it sucks out everyone's souls that it just casually passes by. Of course they don't know. This is the same as someone being heavily armed with a bulletproof vest and a big gun in real life and they start asking you questions. If someone approach you with a bulletproof vest and some guns and ask you and you're just a regular guy, you're uneasy. It's intimidating. You're sure it'll up your intimidation skills. But good luck creating trust long-term with that NPC. So think about this. Force players to take off that heavy armor. It's not comfortable, it's not easy to run and jump in. I love systems that severely punish armor already, where it's always a double-edged sword, where you get massive penalties to some things whilst being more durable. But think about this from the social aspect, how being in this mega bulletproof vest essentially will make people less receptive to your questions and your ideas and more suspicious of you. There we have it, 5 double-edged swords. This was a fun video that I wanted to do for a while. Everyone, if you have not yet, please consider just liking or subbing because it really helps this algorithm thing. I have a ton more videos on the way about juicy TTRPG, GM philosophy, concepts, and I'm too excited and I don't know how to end videos. Hope to see you all on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.